Gab Layton. I'm president of the Embarcadero Institute. I'm also, my background is I have a PhD in aerospace engineering and worked at McKinsey for a while and then at a startup. But I looked at those numbers because they were so out of any sort of rational range. And you sort of say, well, why do the numbers matter? We just need to build more housing. But I think the problem is that these inflated numbers deflect the attention away from the real issue, which is affordable housing. Because what happens is you get these artificial targets and then you get SB 35 kicking in, so that what will eventually happen in this next round is that market rate housing will be fast tracked ahead of affordable housing. So that in a nutshell is why this really matters. The problem is that these cities who are being blamed don't have any funding for affordable housing. There's this other sort of fake narrative that cities aren't building housing. But when you look at what's happened in the last RHNA cycle, all of them have over-indexed on their market rate targets. Most of them are like 200% of built over of their market rate targets. And where they're falling terribly behind is in the affordable housing. And so in actual fact, if you look at the job housing balance, which planners use as a, just basic metric for rough idea, we actually right now for the jobs that we have a reasonable number of housing units. That flies in the face of everyone saying we have a housing crisis. It says we have maybe right now enough physical housing structures. The problem is there's an incredible mismatch between, the type of job that somebody has and the type of housing that they can afford. So you've got all these poor, lower socioeconomic, families who are spending far more than 30% of their income, in rent or whatever. So I think your idea about, having these families own housing, I think that would actually be an incredible outcome. But either solution needs money. Cities don't have money. The state's holding the money bags. I mean, the money has to flow back to the cities somehow. Either they need to keep more of their property taxes, which SB6 and other, actually SB6 wasn't the one about keeping the property taxes, another one last year that Portantino introduced. Those bills were great. They're actually solving part of the problem. But as long as this whole, blame.
That was $12.99, wasn't it?
$12.99, great, was vetoed at the end, but that was actually fantastic. That would have actually gone a long way. If you look at what's happened, we were building 4 market rate houses for every one affordable home. After the money sort of dried up with in 2010 with the closure of the redevelopment agencies, we went to 7 market rate for every one affordable. So we're moving completely in the wrong direction. All winners bills, they're all about building market rate and accelerating market rate production. For every market rate home that gets built, that's one affordable home that will not get built. That's how I see it. It's just a simple sort of, math. And that's the problem. This narrative that everybody's pushing back, it doesn't pan out. It doesn't show up in the numbers. I don't